Alright guys, it's my messed up, but this is back again. Welcome to Dugout Stuff Baseball. 7/20/1980 Giants against Cardinals. I wanted to show you all my complete team selection and everything, and I kind of messed up, so I'll start out at the beginning again, and just be a little redundant here. And I've got Volstad all set up, so we're going to go in and I'll at least open up the team sheets and show you my team sheets. And I wanted to show you guys exactly how I do all this. Okay, there's my San Francisco team sheet. You see the active players on the left already highlighted, and the minors and injured on the right. And you want to Control C. It's important to Control C everything and not cut. And you're going to come over to the active bench and you can Control V. And then you're going to go back into San Francisco, pick up the pitchers, do the exact same thing. Control C. Back over to the pitchers tab, a pen, meaning bullpen, and Control V. And we're going to get rid of San Francisco so we don't dupe anything or mess anything up. And then we're going to pick up St. Louis and do the exact same thing. But I've already done this, so I'm going to forgo that. But you do this now, let's not forgo it. Do it because we got the ballpark. So let's redo this again for video purposes. Control V, them in there. Next page over is the home team pen. Go to the pitchers tab, Control C, back to the game, Control V, and back to pick the ballpark. And we're going to go to St. Louis and pick the ballpark. And it is important with these numbers right here that they match these three numbers right here. All the way across. Some stadiums will actually have like a 7 and a bracketed 6 or something like that because they're different dimensions. And then one of these areas here will be gray or blue or something. That'll indicate what the bracketed number is supposed to be entered in. Just make sure those numbers would be, like, say the center one is gray, you'd want to put 7, 6, 7 in the above illustration. Just a little heads up. So you're going to select all that, including those numbers. Control C, come back to the game, select Bush, Control V, yes, and fix stadium. And I had this all set up and kind of got a little flurb with my video. I got cold feet, not cold feet, got to thinking maybe I wasn't recording right. So, but you see, we got again anyway. Breezy, slightly overcast. All that's rolled based on the charts. I do that pre-game for you. Except now the wind is now blowing straight to the center field, and that'll affect pitcher and batter home run numbers a little bit. And then we're going to pick up the visitors tab, and as you see, I already have 5 batters entered, and I'm going to go get rid of them from my bench now so I don't make a mistake. So Bill North, Jack Clark, Darrell Evans, delete Herndon, and Milt May. I like to keep it clean so I know who I've got sitting on my bench when it comes time to substituting later. And Mike Ivey will be next playing first base. And let's get rid of St. Louis while we're here so we don't mess up. And then we'll go find Mike Ivey. There's Ivey. And Control C. Messing up. Third base will be Evans 331. Control V. First base is Ivy 514 and a 0. And we're going to come back and delete Mike Ivy. It is very important not to cut and paste. Copy, paste, come back right later and hit the delete key while everything's still selected. Very important. Okay, back to ball score. We're looking at Joe Strain playing second base. And that'll be 3, 6, and a -1. Position 8 will be Joe Patini playing shortstop. And Control V, shortstop 225 and -1. And we're going to go down to the 9th position there. And playing 9th and pitching is Bob Nepper. So we're going to go back in, delete out the last batter we used, go to the A pen, find Bob Nepper, select him, Control C, come over and put his back card in first, enter his pitching number, 530, and we're going to pop over to the home tab and enter him in the pitching location because he's going to be facing the home batters, and we're going to hit the warm-up button right here. Everybody sees that. It says warm up. Just hit that once. Boom. Ooh, and as you see, Bob Nepper got a very poor warm-up roll. He will be ineffective in Wild 4. And in my season so far, he is not pitching bad. He's 6 and no, that's 4. Never mind. I thought Nepper was getting beat up a little bit. 6 wins, 7 losses, 4.46 ERA in my replay so far. And as you see, he's close to where he would be in the game. So in a real life replay. So then we're going to go back up here to position 1. And we're going to now pick up St. Louis. So we're going to flip the tab here on ball score. Go to St. Louis. Bobby Bonds will be playing left field. He did not have a very good season. Let's get rid of Nepper so we have him out of the bullpen. And let's pick up Bobby Bonds. And he was pretty ineffective as a leadoff this year. Control V, batting 203. Win base is pretty good because he walked a bit, but he's not having a good season for me either. And he's left field, so we'll put 3.19.4. See, he's got kind of a weak arm. Not horrible, but weak nonetheless. And we'll go back and get rid of him in the bench. And ball score. Gary Templeton, shortstop. Templeton, shortstop, 6.23.3. Select the next one. Get rid of Templeton. Go to Keith Hernandez, first base next. Find Keith Hernandez. Control C. And you see, you get used to it after a while, and it just kind of pop right through the lineup. Pretty simple. And get ready for the 4th position. Get rid of Hernandez. And Ted Simmons will bat clean up and catch. And 5-2. And it brings up George Hendrick in right field, batting 5th. 5-5-5, lucky fives. And that'll bring over Ken Reach, third base. And if you hear some background noise, my wife is watching her important just to get that one square, her program, so bear with me. Hopefully it won't be too interrupting. And let's see, we gotta get rid of Ken Reach. And Tony Scott will play center field next, all the way down the bottom. And 5-2-5. He's going to not make many mistakes in center field. He's average with the arm and fielding, but very good defensively. And Oberkfell will round it off playing second base. and he's actually a good second baseman with a minimal error rate also. So I think St. Louis's big issue this year was the pitching, which can doom a lot of teams. And we're going to put Bob Forsch batting ninth, and find him. We did delete out. Yes, we did delete out him. Bob Forsch. Control C. Home tab. Put him down here in the ninth. Click P. 619. And then flip over to the visitors tab, and we're going to do the same thing we did with Nepper. Control V, put him in there, hit warm up. And Forsch has the exact opposite. He is grooved to Control 2, so we have two completely different warm ups here. And that's probably good to see for showing the game off, though not good for the Giants. And so basically, then we are set for the game. And I'm going to take a second, get myself ready here, get something to drink, and we will throw out the first pitch. Alright, we're back at it here, getting ready to see Bill North face up against Bob Forsch. Go over here, make sure we're all ready on ball score, and Bob Forsch is 6-4 with a 3.42 ERA so far this season in my replay. And you see that he's pitching much better than he did in real life as far as the ERA is concerned, and is on base against average is well below what he did in real life too. So that's probably going to get even better after this game because he is grooved. I will make some mistakes. I haven't played for a while. I will miss some things. But this game is pretty solid, and it ignores a lot of errors by the operator, so to speak. So bear with me. Just have fun. Hopefully it'll help you get used to the flow of the game some. I know that can be the hardest part. And let's do this. So we have Bill North, and as you see right here is my current batter. So you always want to make sure that that is, I wish I could highlight this cursor a little better. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Show cursor while recording. I already did that. Yes, just really not. I'm gonna play around a little bit here. Yeah, let's not do that. I can't do shit while I'm recording. So, alright, well, we're stuck with what we got. Let's just play the game and enjoy it. Quit horsing around. I'm going to hide this so we have a little more room. And let's see what Bill North can do. So, anyway, right here in the center of my screen says Bill North to the right of all these letters. Hopefully, you can follow through in my with my mouse. But if not, this is what you got. That you'll click that every time you change a batter. Over here on the right, you have rolling the dice. Switch to the home tab. Most of these you'll recognize from Jeremy's CGC. I just added to them. You have the current dice rolls, your D10s and your 100s. Down here you have your 100 roll, your percentile roll, and a D20 for your extra rolls. Right here, right next to the groove, that number is the all-important control number, and that will be the batter's number added to the pitcher's number based on whether he's right and left or not. And then I'll also have the count, pitch count in here, and right there is the current pitch count adjustment, and right here is the current pitch count. So also this will come up green whenever there's a possible error, and up around here when there's a man on base, you'll have a red steel come in if the opportunity arises. Down here in the bottom under warm up, you can also turn on the aggressive base running or not, which according to Jeremy's rules will increase your. As you see, I put aggressive base running on. All of a sudden, steal attempt 6 comes into play. So we'll not play with any of those extra options right now. That's just so you can see things. I guess the other thing would be down the bottom here, this blue number. That will be, you'll probably see that more come into play when there's wilds. We'll see that with Bob Nepper, and I'll go into more detail with that when we get there. Several other buttons. My hit to out routine right here, and my out to hits routine here. Make sure you hit the right block. Usually go a little below it. Don't hit the header, just hit in between. And down here, home run to foul ball, and fly ball, and fly ball to home runs. We also have up here will be some of the results, and I also have a result over here. And if you're ever uncertain about fielders' rates and stuff, here is the opposing team's fielding rates. Always make sure that they got completely filled in. I like to check them before I play the game, because if they're not filled in properly, you will get a error when you go to run a routine. So that was interesting. Definitely slow today because I'm running an update or something. Because my tabs and everything have missed here. Huh. Very interesting. Let's do that. Nope, still doesn't bring it back in. That'll be a problem here later. All right. Well, let's play away a little bit and see what we get, and we'll deal with that little obstacle later. If I have to, I'll close it and bring it right back in. It's also saving right now, which might be part of the problem. It might not want to work. So all kinds of good stuff going on. Alright, we'll try to roll the dice anyway, see what Bill North does up against Bob Force. Dice roll. And that's kind of hard to read, but that's a 16 right there. You're going to check that against Bill North's walk rate, and then keep into account the control. If the control is less than this number, if this number is less than control, then he's controlled it and wouldn't get a walk if it were a possible walk. And then this number here would also take into effect and come down to a lower number. Anyway, 81 was the control number based on we got a righty versus a righty, and Bob Force is grooved, so 78 is his base number. And against righties, Bill North is +3, so that's an 81, and the pitch count's full, so there's no advantage either way on that. So Bill North will probably be out, as we have an out to hit situation, and 42 would be a ground ball to the center field, which would be shortstop because of the 2 right here. But we have an out to a hit, so we can immediately come up here to my out to hit and click it. And we enter 8 because that's where it got hit to, and we're going to put a ground ball, and it'll tell me that the range of shortstop is 6, and the range check is 4, and it will be a hit if we roll 1 or less. And we rolled a 12, as you see here, so that's an out. So that'll be an out 6-3 for Bill North, and brings up Larry Herndon. And we're going to click to bring up Herndon. And you see his control number is now 79, as he's slightly better against right-handers than Bill North was. And we're going to roll them by dice again. Check for a balk when nobody's on base. I think that's one of the things that don't have quite working 100%. I think it won't show up when you don't get a balk, but as long as nothing pops up, there's no balk. In this case, there's nothing to check. If you did check, you see the mouse turns into a finger right above it. You click it, and the routine runs. Anyway, 56 is less than 79, so he's got a probably out. 9's right in the center. It's not going to be a strikeout or a walk. 76 will be a fly ball to center field. 19 gets us close to the fence, so we're just going to go ahead and hit fly ball to home run. And we see that that is not a home run. That result would show right up here. So he flies out deep to center field, and that will bring up Jack Clark, the always dangerous Jack Clark. This season, no. How's he doing? 271 with 15 home runs, so he's not doing horrible. He was 264 and 20 home runs in 1980, so he's pretty well keeping up to where he's supposed to be. And his control number is 80. As you see, he's slightly worse against righties than Herndon was. And we're going to roll, and this will be a tough game for Giants with him being grooved. 8 is within or out the hits. 7's not going to be a strikeout or a walk. 99 is going to be a foul out. And I don't have that really set up in my out the hits. I don't believe I have that working right. So foul out to 17 if you were to go to game charts. All my buttons are missing. Let me try something here. Exit Steam real quick. See if that helps things out. And hasn't yet, so I'm going to close this out and come back in. All kinds of fun. No. And let's bring it right back up. Alright. Alright, there we got our buttons back. Okay, so foul out 17 is to the right fielder. And if I remember right, out the hit is actually more of a check to see whether he'll catch it or not. So the right fielder has a rate of 5, so we're going to roll that D20 down here. And if it's 5 or less, he'll get it. Boy, I got that one all wrong. So, well, that's a moot point anyway, because that's a foul out. And as you can see up here, 17 is in the Park's seats, so it's a non-factor anyway. Clark pops it out, and it goes out of bounds in the right field. Outfielder has a play on it but can't make it. And I've got a bone up on that rule again. Okay, so he gets another pitch. This time we're checking for the hit batter. And yes, I have this into my routine too. Force is a 2. And Clark is a 1. So we should not get a hit batter. As you see, we're going to be looking off the batter's card. And it says no hit batter. So we move on. 33 is probably out. You can see that we had a really good pitch count. So his control number came up to 83. 10's right in the middle, not going to strike out or walk. 90 again is going to be a line out to first base, and 11 puts it just about right on the first baseman. So it'll be a line out to first base, and he doesn't even really have to move. So we'll go out L3, and Giants go down meekly in the first, and we'll advance that. Bobby Bonds will come up for St. Louis, and St. Louis is 44 and 45 on the season, so they're starting to come on a little bit of a run here lately. And Bonds has been hitting 203, which is right around where he hit in real life too. Yep, perfectly right on the nose. And there I go again, hitting buttons I shouldn't be hitting. Second baseman is Ken Oberkfell. Let's make sure we put that in. If you do hit a button by mistake, just hit the correct numbers for the correct fielder. If you don't, the numbers will get blanked out. I should put some kind of a yes, no in there, but I've never really intended to distribute this, so this is just me not worrying about things. Okay. Anyway, so he will roll the pitch, remembering now that Nemper is ineffective, and it's going to be a much lower control number. We got a righty against a lefty, and ineffective against lefties. He's a 64, and Bobby Bonds against a lefty is +2. So that's a 66. And no, 62 against righties, and +2 is 64, and then a -1 because the pitch count is a 63. So let's roll the dice. And he gets a 41. Again, we have a hit by pitcher check, and as you see, 1 was in the 4 of Nepper, and up here showing you we're checking a pitcher's card. So we have a hit batter. So Bobby Bonds will actually find himself on base. And out of the corner of my eye, I also saw another little goodie pop up, and it's probably perfect for Bonds. Steal attempt 0. He would have to have a steal rate of 0 in order to run on that one. That's basically the same as a 10. I mean, no, 0, so that'll almost never show up. So he's not going to run. And we can put the hit and run on if we want. Templeton is 33 hit and run, and Bobby Bonds steals pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and click the, or say that if we have a green pitch count or a yellow pitch count, the hit and run is on. And advances to Templeton, and roll the dice. And once again, probable outcomes up, and that's red, so there will be no hit and run. 6, so we're watching down here. If this number, that's 7, is less than that 4, you'll see the difference in this number. So this blue number here will be your bottom line for walks. In this case, he didn't walk him. 98 will be a foul out to 8, and as you see, that's still in play. And we'll go to the ball and play chart, and the foul out 8 will go to the third baseman. So we will go out and X5, and down goes Templeton. Brings up Keith Hernandez, the always dangerous Hernandez. He's not quite as good at hit and running, and he's got a pretty decent number. Bonds can steal, and we still have the 7 up here. I actually think he can steal on that one. My wife just completely had a brain fart on the rolls here. We're gonna let him take a chance at stealing. It is Bobby Bonds after all. He had decent 15 stolen bases that year. We're at 7 here. We're going to have him attempt to steal a second. So you just come up here when it fits, and I'm going to verify that rule. I think the number is, if it's less than his steal number, he can't run. If it's higher, he can run. Right now it's higher, he can run. Just about anybody could run on a 7 if you wanted them to. Anyway, runner's lead rating. So you come over here, and you get his lead rating, which is 15. Type that in, and it's going to tell you that he's got a good lead, and do you want to attempt to steal, and it's going to tell you what the catcher's arm is. So it's up to you to say whether you want to or not. Say yes, I want to steal. So you put his stolen base rate, which is 75 for Bonds, and he's going to steal second base, or attempt to steal second base, and hit OK again. And as you see up here comes stolen base, so Bonds has successfully stolen second base. We now have a runner on second, and Templeton's up. No hit and run to be, I mean, not Templeton. Hernandez is up, and we're going to roll. Hernandez will stroke a hit. Now we got to walk careful. Here's that 17, but we also rolled a 0 up here, which is good as a 10. And so the wild doesn't come into play. So the bottom line for the walk is a 17, and Hernandez is a 19, so there's no walk. Instead, he gets the hit, which is 36. That'll be the single to left field. And if we go over here to ball and play chart, and we're looking at single in left field with the runner on second, we got no modification. And that 5 will give us a range or a depth of 8. So remember that, because we're going to come over here and we're going to say, do we want to try to advance the runner? As to see if he can score from home, score from second on that base. Now Bonds has good speed, and I've set it up so you can actually check before you commit. I usually don't go unless I have at least a 75% chance of it. So that was to hit the left field, which is 7, and that's going to be a hit. And we're going to type in 1 because it was a single, and we're going to enter base runner speed, which is modified. Now, as I showed you, there was no modification when we looked at ball play chart, so we're just going to put his base 7 down. I think it's +5 if it's hit to the warning track, +8 if there's 2 outs. You add all that into his speed before you hit OK or enter here. So it's going to tell you there's a fielder's range of 4. Okay, the fielder's reaction was 6, so he got a poor jump on this. So we're going to add 2 to the base runner speed, which is 7. That gives him a 9. Range of 8, which would be 17. Then we're going to subtract the runner's arm, which takes us down to a 13. And I'm going to say no, I did not want to try to advance. And it actually says that down here that I have a 15, so I obviously messed something up there. So I forgot to add a 2 for the reaction or something. Anyway, regardless, we're not going to do that. 7, 8, 9, 17, 13. I missed something. Anyway, he's not going to attempt it. We'll get a single. And as you can see, I have not played for a while, so yes, I do get rusty. I don't get the chance to play as much as I used to. And as I'm recording, I'm not going to go digging through the rules every now and again. I'll just roll with it and let the game compensate for my mistakes. Ted Simmons comes up. At least you'll understand the basics. Ted Simmons' control number is going to be about 57, I believe it will be, without the pitch count. And he's got runners on first and third. We could put the hit and run on, but I like his power, so we're just going to go ahead and hit away. And even with a favorable count, he cannot get the hit. 15 is coming into play. This is what I was talking about earlier. You see that we rolled a 51. This second digit is what affects the control of the pitcher. So if he's got a wild 4, which he does, that 1 is less than the 4, so that wildness gets added to this dice roll. So because he's wild, Simmons now faces a 19, and that matches his walk rate. So because of Depper's wildness, he gives up a walk in this instance instead of a hit, which is probably good for him because that'll only load the bases instead of, not load. Oh boy, I got ahead of myself. I did something wrong. Yeah, I know what I did. Bond scored and I didn't want him to score. So let's undo. You'll get a chance to see undoing here. We're going to undo the single and the base on balls. And then we're going to come back up here and hit Hernandez's single, and we'll advance to third. And we're going to do the walk. And that'll take care of that. See how easy it is to fix the repairs on your mistakes on Ball Stat Ball Score. That's why I like this program so much. Brings up George Hendrick with the bases loaded. he will have about a 59. Nepper's holding his own, but it's not been pretty yet. He's got one out, bases loaded. He's given up a walk already. He's hit a batter already. He's given up a hit already, so he's not looking too good at all. We're going to go ahead and just kind of bat away. And once again, he gets lucky. Probable out. 63 this time is a fly ball to center field, and that 9 is going to almost absolutely give us no chance to score. That's almost right on the player. So let's go check it out in case. Fly ball to center field. You can see there's no modification from third or second, so you wouldn't add anything to the base runner speed. And you see that 9 is almost dead on the fielder. It does give us a distance of 13, a depth of 13, so we may want to try this. And so let's see if we can maybe get a sacrifice out of this. Get on the right page. Let's see, that was hit to center field. And that was an out, so we're going to put O this time. And base runner speed was 7 because there's no adjustments to it. And then you can see the fielder actually got a good jump on it, so that's going to be a -1. We'll subtract that from the runner's speed, which is 7 makes it 6. Range 13 takes us up to 19, but he's got a good arm. It takes us down to 14. So we're not going to try it. So no sacrifice on that. That'll just be an out to 8. You kind of sit there, and the runner knows how good a jump the player got. The runner also, or the third base coach, will also have a good idea how good a guy's arm is. You can see where the ball's hit, and he can say, yeah, I don't think you got a good chance, so we're not going to take it. And that's what happened right there. Ken Reitz will come up then with bases loaded, 2 out. Hendrick didn't get the job done. Ken Reitz. So, Nepper has a chance to avoid this, any damage in this first inning. It'll come to this at bat. If he can, and he goes through 3 innings without giving up a run, he can lose his ineffective status. Let's see if any of that's even going to happen. So, Reach against Nepper, and that's going to be around 59. And oh boy, as you can see, wildness comes into effect again. We rolled 11, which is probably an out, which would also be an out to a hit, but because wildness comes into effect, we have a 20. So we come down here, and this is good this happens, so you get to better explain how this works. Some batters don't walk much. Reach is one of them. And I'm going to verify the rule on this one, so you're going to have to bear with me real quick while I do that. I want to make sure that it's not just 20. I don't think the wildness, I think it has to be a 20 and the pitcher's wild above his +1, but I want to verify that. This is kind of important. This is the difference between a run and not. So bear with me as I navigate my way and get all this together for you. This is one of those rules I'd rather be absolutely sure of. Okay, baseball instructions. Just make sure I'm not giving you guys a bad funk on this. I don't want people getting the wrong roles and me being the one that did it. Yeah, we definitely got some kind of an update or something going on. Everything is slow, and my computer's built for gaming, so this is weird. I bet you it's doing an update. Frickin' Windows. I love it, but I hate it. They just keep throwing updates at you. Of course, it only happens when I'm trying to record and show people how to do things. Alright. I've got this going on my other screen, so just bear with me as we sit this out. Um, Maybe I can open it up. I also have an Excel version of it. If it'll let anything happen here. Okay. Let's go with. Now I'm leaning on my microphone, turning my volume way up, blasting myself up. Not having a good day here. Dugout steps. Dugout steps. Dugout steps. Instructions. Get rid of the Adobe. And we'll come down here. And control wild. Gain control to this group. Negative. Some batters who walk in frequently will have a walk rating plus number. These players only draw a walk when the roll 20 is 20. Yes, so I was correct on that. That would not be a walk, which is why I wanted to make sure that anybody else, you take that and add it. But when they have a plus number here, it has to be a nat 20, and that plus 1 has to be less than his wildness in order for them to walk. So Reach does not draw the walk. It will be a probable out and a fly ball to center field. So we're going to click on the out to hits. Go 8. A lot of different things going on in this game, and it's probably good because it gives you guys that are just starting out a chance to see some of this stuff. And you see the fielder's rate is 4 and the range check is 3. 15 is pretty close to the fielder. So it'll be a hit of 3 or less. And we rolled a 9, so that's out. And a lot going on in that about, but it turns out to just be a fly ball. I visualize it in my head as Reach almost getting a walk, but he just couldn't resist taking that final swing because he likes to swing away, and because of that, he got a fly ball that challenged the fielder a little bit, but they were able to pull it in. Nice way to kind of visualize what's going on. It's probably like a low one outside, and you just got under it and created a huge, tall fly ball to center field. That brings up Evans for the Giants against Forsh. And he will probably be out. And that's a 94, and that's pitcher catcher. And this is yet another one that I don't have working right. The pitcher catcher out to hit, you have to do on your own. So if we go to, remember Bob Forsh is the 6. We got to then go to the not game chart, main chart. Okay, out to hit. Fielder's rate is 6, and we're going to end up going to the ball and play right to find out where the range is, and it's in the pitcher, and it's going to be 3. So main front, fielder's rate 6, and the range is 3, so that's going to be an automatic out. So he's out 1 to 3, no check in it. And the Giants are going down very meekly. It brings up Milt May. He's batting light this season at 206, well below his 260. And he's going to get the first hit for the Giants. As you see, I got an 84. Even with a good pitch count against him, he manages to strike a hit. And it's not going to be overruled by a walk or strikeout. And 68 will be a single to center field for Milt May. That brings up Mike Ivy. He was 241 in the real season. He's 222 here. My Giants have been struggling. Not my Giants, but my Giants in this replay. I'm a Phil's fan at heart, for those of you that know. And what I neglected to do last time, and this does make a an impact too is we got to put on base, because that affects the players. Um, it even affects the pitchers when they're not grooved or ineffective, but it definitely affects how the players bat against pitchers. Is some are better with men on base than they're not. And as you see when I cycle this, that it definitely affects Ivy's bottom line, just like that. So he's looking at a very low chance of getting a hit, but we're not going to try a hit and run. Milt May can't run very good, and Mike Ivy's not very good against it, so we're just going to roll the dice. 19 will be a out. 10's definitely not a strikeout or a walk. Right now, for our intents and purposes, I will not worry about auxiliary or plays. And 27 will be a ground ball to the second baseman, as that 7 is odd. And a slow roller hit the second baseman means you're going to test the runner's speed against the base runner, but with a speed of 1, you're not testing squat if he's not going to outrun that one. We also have, though, an XC. XC is an error chance anytime the ball hits the ground. So that wouldn't be a check on like a fly ball or something like that, but it is a check on a ground ball or a single, double, and the likes of that. So we're going to click that XC, and it goes to the infield, and it goes to the second baseman. And as you see, that came up where the second baseman, because we rolled a 4 down here on our percentile dice, committed a 1 base error. So we will log that in as an E4. And puts 2 on base with 1 out. And the Giants are starting to get a little something going on here. Brings up Joe Strain. And Joe Strain needs about an 83 or something. And you can see he's a little bit better, a little bit worse with men on base. He really should run bat against lefties, but I'm using real life lineups, and I'm not the manager in this case. And we're going to roll. That's in probable out range. No walk. 80 will be a fly ball to center field. We're going to check out the hit, but that 9, I can almost guarantee you he's going to be an automatic out, or a real low chance. So center field, and that's a fly ball. And as you see, hit of 0 or less, because the 9 is almost dead on the fielder, so anybody with any kind of range isn't going to take a check. So that's a fly ball to center field, and also for that reason, we know that he's not going to get much of a chance to run with it, so we're not even going to check that. That brings up Bettini with 2 out, and his number is also pretty high, and he does not get it. He needed a 90. We'll check the wild pitch. On this one, there's a glitch in there I haven't found yet. Go with the first pop-up box, which says no wild pitch. It'll always click no wild pitch on the second one. So anyway, that's going to be an out, and that'll also be a fly ball to center field, out F8. Which brings up again the Cardinals after a long inning. Brings up Tony Scott. Nobody's on base, and he's going to roll, and he's probable hit. We got a 1 there, so we got to look Tony Scott and see if that was like a +1, he would strike out. But being as it's not, he won't. So we're going to look up 60 to fly ball to left field, and that is also within an out to hit check. So we'll go 7, F. A lot of out to hit and checks and everything. We needed a 3 or less, but that's out as we rolled 5. So fly ball to left field, and Nepper's not doing bad for being ineffective. Brings up Oberkfell. Wonder if he can lose that ineffective tag. And he rolls, no wild pitch because nobody's on base. Again, rolls a probable out, no strikeout walk. 53, fly ball left field again, right on the player. An H right there, so that'll be an F8. And that brings up the pitcher, Bob Force. And hopefully for Nepper's sake, should be an easy out, but oh boy. As you know, things happen. Um, that's a hit. Bob Force will be a double. And I'm going to use down here for my direction. I'll use that 100, so that'll be to left field. So that's a double to left field. So Force gets a double against. He's batting 256 on the season, so that's not totally inaccurate. I believe, a good batter that year. Yeah, he's a -5 hitter, so he had a pretty good batting average that year. Alright, so unable to get out of that onto the clean slate is Nepper, and now he's got to face the top of the lineup with a runner on second. And he's going to manage it. Oh, here we go. Is he at 2? Bobby Bonds. I love the strikeout this season. +6 is well above that +2, so we're not even going to look at the error. We're just going to ring him up, set him down, strikeout, and that will flip the lineup and brings over Bob Nepper facing his counterpart, who got a double off of him. Nepper wants to do the same, be a lot harder though. He rolls a 79. There's going to be no walk. That'll probably be an out. 75 is a fly ball to center field, close. And an XC means we do not check an error because the ball did not touch the ground. That's an out to center field. And that brings up the top of the lineup, Bill North. And he will also go out. 82, fly ball to right field. 18, we'll check it, but I'm sure that's an out. And nothing happens up there, so that's an out. Out F8. And that brings up Larry Herndon. He's also going to be out. They're getting some good rolls. Just with that groove, they don't stand a chance. Once again, no walk, no strikeout. 96 will be a pitcher-catcher. 1 is a grounder to the catcher. I know that, so I won't even bother checking the ball and play chart. That'll be an out 2 to 3, as there's no range or anything like that. Would have been a pretty hard range check, I believe, if it had that kind of stipulation. So, take everybody off base for the Cardinals. They're back at it. If Nepper can get out of this inning without giving up a run, he can go back to normal pitching. Let's see how this goes. Got to face the heart of the lineup, though, so that's a tough road to plow. And he gives up right off the bat. Templeton will get a base hit, 89. That'll be a single to right field. And Templeton is now on base. He has a run rate of 3, but nothing's showing up here yet, so that'll bring up Hernandez. Once again, we click on base. Get Hernandez up and roll the dice. And passed ball, no passed ball. Probably an out, no strikeout, no walk. 16 will be a ground out to third base. We'll go ball and play, but I'm pretty sure the runner advances. Ball and play left, third base. And 3, runner advances. Forced runner advances, so there'll be no chance to get him out. So we have an out, 5 to 3. Puts runner on second. And that brings up Ted Simmons. And Ted Simmons will also roll low. And that's going to be a probable out. 22 again. A ground ball to third base. And a low number here means we got to check the ball and play again for a runner on second base. So a runner on second, non-forced. Well, at the roll of 2 would be a runner advance. So out 5 to 3, and we now have a runner on third base. So Nepper's again giving his manager some gray hair as he's got a runner on third with 2 out, and George Hendrick up. And Hendrick will not get it done again, and he rolls low. And I don't think, nope, 17 is not enough to cover his walk. 99 will be a foul out. It's in It's in the ballpark, so we will go see where 15 is on the foul out, and that is to the right fielder. So he fouls out to the right fielder. That'll be an out X9, and Nepper then has managed to escape the ineffective. So we'll just come up here, and to get rid of the ineffective, you just do that, and the program will pick that up. And Bob Force, on the other hand, would have to give up 5 runs or so to lose his groove status. And he's up against Jack Clark. And Jack Clark will go down with a foul out. And again, that's a... we will go check the ball and play chart. Foul out to 5 is to the catcher, so he pops up to the catcher. Out X2. And Darrell Evans will come up. And Darrell Evans will get a hit, and this will be a double at least. We're going to check a fly ball to home run just to see if that double turns into a home run, and it does not. So we have a double to right field for Darrell Evans, which brings up Milt May, the Giants' only other base runner this game so far. And equal to or less. He barely escapes. Force within Force's strikeout rate, and Milt May's a -7, so he will strike out as the 11 is above that. Out, strikeout, and that brings up Mike Ivey to try and get some damage done, and he will go down meekly also with a, well, maybe foul out. Nope, that's into the stands behind the catcher, and he will get a second chance. So if he re-rolls out, and that'll be a ground ball to the shortstop, as there's 32 puts it on the shortstop. Brings up the Cardinals again in the 4th, and that's Ken Reitz, and he will not walk, as we again got any other player in this lineup besides Templeton would have walked on that. No, Hendrick wouldn't have, but he does not. So 73 will be a fly ball to center field. No error check because it's again an XC, and the ball didn't touch the ground. So we got a fly ball. A lot of action to center field. Tony Scott then will come up, and he will stroke a hit, and that will be to 59 center field, single to center field. And E-check does not include hits, only XCs do, so that'll just be a single. Ken Oberkfell. Oberkfell's a good hit and run runner. Tony Scott can run, so we're going to try to see if we get a green or a yellow. We'll hit and run, and we got a yellow, but not needed, as Scott will walk. You see the runner take off, but the ball's in the dirt. Catcher grabs it, no time for a throw, and it doesn't matter anyway because it was a walk. And that puts runners on first and second with Force up. And Force will try to drop a bunt unless he's horrible. So we need a 73 or less, and that's a 46. I'll check a wild pitch. Nope, 46 is successful sacrifice bunt, and the 11 goes to, we go to bunt chart front. Successful sacrifice 11, bunted to the pitcher on the right side of the mound, and that's what it's going to be. We'll just go out 1 to 4. Sacrifice hit 1 to 4. Assist 1, put out 4 as the second baseman covers, and Bobby Bonds will come up. He's having more trouble as a regular pitcher than he is with as an ineffective pitcher. And Bonds will not get the job done. 69 will be a fly ball center field. Nothing else showing. Out F8. pause this a second. Alright, back again. Alright, we're looking at Joe Strain against Force. And he will get a hit to an out chance here. 81. Be to right field. Also got an error, but we don't check that till we determine hit to out. Out of 7 or less, it's going to be a hit as we rolled an 8. And then now we're going to check outfield 9. No error on the play. So we have a single to right field. Brings up Chapatini. Not a very good hit and run batter. 18 does not walk. 55-23. Ground ball is third baseman. 6 is Patini's ground in the double play B. 6 will be a fielder's choice ABC. And 5 means that we can attempt to turn it. So we got to get the 5. That'd be 5 to 4 to 3. So we roll 5 or less on this 8, where that 8 is. He can turn to double play and does not. So we got to force out 5 to 4. Oh, when we got an error to check. That'll be inside. Infield 5. And no, gets right through the third baseman for 2-base error. Cancel. Forgot. 2-base errors. I got to go through the hit section. 2-base error. And okay, E5. That'll set it up right. Okay, and that brings up Nepper with runners on first, second, and third. And we're not going to, I don't like squeeze bunch, so I'm just going to kind of let him bat away and hope for the best here. And nothing good happens as I expected. 26 will be a ground ball to the shortstop. 16, I don't think is going to let anybody get in. 16, forced runner on second, third. Both of them would only add 5 to speed, so no, that'll be an out 6 to 3. And all runners hold. And brings up Bill North. Oh, Bill North gets a hit to an out. And a wild pitch 8, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nope. 11. No walk, no strikeout. 60 is a hit to single to center field. We're going to check that. 1, 8. And 6 is pretty good. So it'll be an out of 7 or less. But it's a hit. And runners advance 1 base only on that. But that scores 1, and that puts the Giants, unlikely enough, up by a score of 1 to nothing. And brings up Herndon. Herndon's just going to bat away, and he's going to not walk. He rolled a 20, but that +1 comes into play. Otherwise, he would have walked, as the control number was not covered down here. So, out to hit 58 is a ground ball to the shortstop. 8 G. That'll be a hit of 0 or less, so it's definitely an out. And we're going to have to check for an error on the shortstop. No error on the play. Out 6 to 3. Do have a runner on first. This is where I've usually got to play the way I would do a managerial play. That's not the closest thing to them. I know from there we can stop the runner from scoring, But in order to hold the runner from scoring, we've got to give up the double play. So we're going to call that a fielder's choice. 6-4. It's the ball. The shortstop holds onto the ball, holds the runner on third to the last minute, and then throws to second for the force. So fielder's choice 6-4. And died. Despite my all that, I still did it wrong. So we'll undo the fielder's choice and redo that, because I forgot to hold the runner on third. That's the whole purpose of doing that. Otherwise, I would have tried for the double play. But the double play chance is so slim, being as it was hit to a 6, that I just felt that it wasn't worth the risk. We'll hold the runner. I guess 2 outs with Clark up, and hopefully they don't pay for that one. And roll it. Oh, okay. I thought Forrest let a bad pitch get by, but he didn't. 19 would have been a walk for Clark, but the control number is equal to or less than his control, so that negates the walk, and that is barely a out. 82 will be a fly ball to right field. We also need to check for the home run, the fly ball. That's pretty deep. That's a fly ball out. So Clark sends the pitcher's heart into his throat, but they managed to pull it in near the warning track and end the inning. So the damage is done, but only 1 run. That could have been a lot worse. Which brings up the Cardinals. Templeton against Nepper. Nepper's good for 6 innings, so we don't have to check Tyree yet. And Templeton does not strike out. 76 will be a fly ball to right field. And that'll bring up Keith Hernandez. And Hernandez will not strike out. 41 will be an out 4-3. Check for the error. No error on the play. Out 4-3. And that brings up Ted Simmons. And Nepper's starting to get a little groove going on here. And Simmons does not strike out, but he too will go down. Fly ball to center field, out F8. And they go down 1-2-3. Starting to feel it now. 6th inning. Force is good for 7, so we don't have to check him yet. Darrell Evans. And Darrell Evans will not strike out. Darrell Evans will ground ball to pitcher catcher. That actually goes to the pitcher. We don't have to check anything else. Out 1-3. And that'll bring up Milt May. Milt May, check for hit batter, and he gets hit bat. So they trade hit batsman this game. And Ivy will come up. And Ivy is... we're just going to go for a hitting away here. Ivy will not strike out. 79 flies out to center field instead. Runner will not advance. And that brings up Joe Strain. And Joe Strain with 2 outs will go down meekly also, and that'll be an out 6-3. We do have to check slow roller and an error, so let's check the infield 6. No error, and slow roller for Strain 2 against shortstop 6, not a chance, out 6-3. The other thing to note is if this is like a 10 or 11, you want to check to see if that was just a flip to second base for the Force to end the inning. Dugout steps also accommodates all those special plays by due to the ball and play chart and the ranges from the players and where the ball is hitting the field, etc., which is really cool. And so that ends the inning, and that brings up George Hendrick for the Cardinals. And I think that's the Reds colors too. That's bothering me. Let me nope, that's my Cardinals. Thought I had that blue. Anyway, get off track, Greg. We are looking at, get my head out my proverbial rear here, George Hendrick against Nepper. This is the 6th inning, so this will be his last inning where we don't check for, oh boy. This could be dangerous. Excuse me. And it is. There's no probable about this. This is hit. That 6 is within his home run range to left field. We will check home run, then fly ball. 7. The pitcher's home run rate against righties is -2. And that is a home run. So Hendrick ties the game with one big blast. Boom. And that brings up Ken Reitz. And Reitz will get in this case, it is a walk. He finally gets a walk. That's his 18th for the season. And that'll bring up Tony Scott. Tony Scott, not good hit and runner, so we won't even work that. Steal attempt 1, but he's a 7, no go. No balk, out, 24, ground ball to the shortstop. Error check, I6. No error on the play, and 12 is close. So we've got a runner on first. Scott is a B grounded than double play. The ball was hit to the shortstop, 12. So we have a fielder's choice if he's an A rated grounded into double play player, but he's not. So that is a definite double play unless they can break it up. That 4 there says they have a chance of breaking it up. So the runner on base, in this case, is Ken Reitz. Will use his run or speed to try and break up the play. He needs a 2 or less on that D20 and does not get it. So the double play takes place. That is a 5. Oh, but a 6-4-3 double play, and actually that's a 6-6-3 double play. As the shortstop will take it himself for the double play, being as the 12 is a close range and even. Cancel that. Round to the double play. 6-6-3 out, and that brings up Obert Fell. Nobody on base. And he will not strike out, not walk. 83 will be a fly ball to right field. Not close enough to the fence to check, so we'll just F9 that bad boy. And that brings up Bob Force on top of the 7th against Bettini. So Bettini will not strike out, not walk. You ground out the third baseman. Hustle play means Bettini can use his speed to try to get on 5, and we roll 4. So he hustles it out, all except one thing. That result is 1 less. So we've got to go to the game chart, and not game chart, the main chart, and roll 20 is 1 less. Can he avoid a tag? We're going to look at his speed plus 10 and roll a die 20. So anything less than 15, he will be safe. And we got a 16. So it goes from a hustle play where he almost gets on that and ends up being a close play. And now he is tagged out. So that'll be an out, 3 unassisted. In a little topsy-turvy play there. It was close play at first base. And you can imagine that the ump made a call. Bettini thought he was safe. Fielders are ecstatic, thinking they got away. They know they're pretty sure they got him, but they don't have to take a chance. Now the pitcher's up. I will check his tire because at this point the manager will know what he's looking like. So we need to roll this, and that's second D10 where the 7 is. If that's 6 or less, he can stay in the game as a regular pitcher. And it's not, it's a 0. So he would be ineffective again. So at this point in the game, he has been kind of wobbly. He has given up base runners. I'm going to go ahead and pinch hit for him. And see if we can get a win out of this game. So I come over here to my my handy dandy pitch status, and Force is a righty, so we're going to hit pinch hit, and Dennis Littlejohn will come in and pinch hit for him. So go to ball score, pitch hit, Littlejohn, okay. Go to the away bench, pick up Littlejohn, Control C, put him over Nepper, Control V, and he will be the next batter up. And we're going to roll the dice, and he will not strike out. 35 will be a ground ball to the second baseman, and that's an out for Littlejohn, out 4-3. And that'll bring up Billy North. And North will go out to 88. Will be a line out to third base. No chance for hustle. Out L5. Littlejohn's a catcher. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring the pitcher back in at the 9th position and not do a double switch. I usually like double switching, but it's not worth it in this instance. Let's get rid of the Littlejohn, bring over my pitching status again. We are looking at the 7th inning. So we'll put the 7th inning in here and see who San Francisco will bring out. Gary Lavelle. Control C, Control V, pitcher 4-0, Control V, and warm up. Always warm pitchers up when they come into the game. He gets swing and miss stuff. That's pretty good. Anything under 17 right here on the probable out will be a strikeout. Won't have to check anything. So, Lavelle against Force. Now, Force has already pitched 7 innings, so we're going to do the exact same thing for him to see whether he's feeling any effects of being tired or not, and he is not, so he's going to bat. And he will probably be out, but that's within out the hit range, so we'll have to check that. And that's a line out to first base, and that 12 tells me he's more than likely not going to be out. We do have to check for an error, though. Line out to first base, no hit, and we're going to check out that. Venus is line out with check P, and 3. First baseman does commit the error and does not grab the ball, so we got an RE3, and Force is on base for the 2nd time this game. He's had a good day offensively and pitching. That'll bring up Bobby Bonds, and we will not hit and run with the pitcher. That'll be an out. 19, ground to third base, check the error, I5, and no error on the play. 15, Bobby Bonds is a B. 15 is an ABC fielder's choice, so fielder's choice unless they can turn the double play. So we 5-4-3 will be at least a force out. 5-4. We need to roll 5 or less, and we roll a 12. So it's just a force out. 5-4. And that puts Bonds, the dangerous Bonds, on first base. And brings up Templeton. Templeton, let's go call a hit and run. It's green, so the hit and run is on. And does not walk, because even if we got the 20, because there's a +1 there, and he is not wild at all. So that'll be a hit. 54 will be a single to center field, and the hit and run will put the runner on third. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? E3, fielder's choice 5-4. I forgot to do my pitchers. Pitchers change. E3, fielder's choice 5-4 and a single. Let's undo all that. Boy, I'm having a bad day here. New pitcher. Lavelle, 9th. Okay. RE3. Fielder's choice 5-4. And a single, and runner goes to third. Alright, now we're on Lavelle's dime. Hernandez. And he too will walk. Forgo the hit, walks supersede all that. So we got another walk. So we have bases loaded. Tie game. Ted Simmons in. And the pitch. And that's not a strikeout. Out to hit. Almost a strikeout from here, but it goes to third base instead. We got to check out the hit. To a check out before the error. 7G. And a third baseman hit at 5 or less. That's an out. Now we'll check the infield 5. No error on the play. Out to hit 5. Oh boy. We just go home with that one. And let's check the ball and play charts and see what the double play chance is. Either way, it's going home. Double play is C for Simmons. Ball and play left 5. A, B, or C. We're going to try home. 5-0 to lose on this one, so we'll try it. 5-2-3 double play attempt with Bonds on third, attempting to break up the double play with a 7. No, hold on. He's not attempting to break up the double play. We're attempting to turn a double play. Sorry, I got a little confused again there. And they do not turn it, so it'll be a fielder's choice 5-2 out at home. And that's 2 out now with Hendrick up. And Hendrick's been in clutch positions 2 times tonight and has done nothing with it. So let's see if he can do it. And he comes through on this one. Oh boy! And then what a way! His 9 clutch situation, he hit a home run, and he comes in on his 3rd clutch situation, and it looks like this one might go out to center field. So we got to try a home run to fly ball. That's 8. Pitcher's home run rate is a -9. Lavelle's a little harder to hit him on, and that's just a double. And being as it's close to the fielder, that 12, we're just going to go ahead and advance the runners 2 bases. Oh, I don't know. That's Simmons, and it is 2 outs. Simmons 3. Let's see what we get here. Ball in play. The center field will be on the left one. Double to center, runner on first, no modification. We do have a modification for 2 outs, +8. So let's go see what the chances are. Center field 8, hit, double. Base runner speed is 3, +8 is 11. 11, the fielder got a poor jump on it. Add 5, 16, 31, 26. Yes, we'll try that. And he'll go home. So it'll be a base clearing double with 2 outs, and that hurt. And Lavelle's just ERA just almost double, went up by 1 whole point. And that just put the game way out of kilter. And I'm going to leave him in for 1 more out here. See if we can get the Reitz out. Nope. 19. Reitz is going to be another double, and at the center field. Check Fly ball, nope. So that's just another scoring double, and oh, Lavelle's just having a rough one here. Try to get that out, Scott. Sometimes I try to get that out till it's too late and it hurts me. This time it will not, and he will get the strikeout because that 4 is within his 17, and he's got swing and miss stuff. So he manages to strike out and end the inning, but the damage is already done, and the Giants come in on the 8th, and they find themselves down by 4 with a strong Bob Force still up against them. And that's Herndon. Herndon's batting 286. We'll leave him in there, and he will not get anything with it. 45, ground ball to second baseman, out 4-3. Check the error, I4, ball grounder, no error, out 4-3. That brings up Jack Clark. Jack Clark will not strike out. 20 will be a ground ball to the third baseman, out 5-3, easy. And that brings up Darrell Evans, and nobody can seem to get anything going against this guy. And that will be a hit to an out. 46 for Evans, single against the center field. 1, 8. Oh, that should have been left field. And he gets a hit regardless. So, boom. Milt May comes up with runner on. Can he lessen the divide here? And he at least gets a hit. No probable or anything about it, but the 11's not going to let anybody advance. Milt May will get a single to left field. Two out. I could have tried Evans, but I don't know. 3 speed. I don't usually go for it. Probably should have. They got nothing to lose. But Ivey's up. 2 outs. Foul out. Gets another chance because it's in the stands. Probably out. Ivey, right? Yes, Ivey. 18's not a walk. 21, 5-3, easy out. That 10 will be a here we are with rules again. I can't remember that 10's close to third baseman, so I can't remember whether he flips it this to shortstop for the out or whether that's to the third baseman. We're going to let the third baseman take it for the unassisted out at third. That'll be a fielder's choice, 5 unassisted. And that brings up the Cardinals in the 8th. And that was Ivey. And I think I'm going to bring in another pitcher and do a double switch here, being as we're getting towards the bottom of the inning again. So let's bring in a first baseman to bat 9th. Who do we have available here? We got nobody that can play first base, so we got to look at our existing lineup. Darrell Evans can play first, so we'll put Darrell Evans in at first and see if we can get a third baseman then. If not, we'll keep doing the jockey here. 30. We'll redo that one. 1. First base will be 431. And then we're going to look at the third baseman now. Okay, Wolford can play third. Let's bring Wolford in at third. Ooh, no, that's a 99. Start keeping track of this because this is going to get ugly in a hurry, and I got to remember all this. So, Evans to third. And let's put Strain to, Evans to first. Strain or Patini to third. Let's move Patini to third. Patini will be third base. 3, 12 minus 1, and that means we need to bring in a shortstop. Johnny LeMaster. Roger Metzger. LeMaster gets a lot of chances, so we'll bring him in. Control C. LeMaster will come in and bat ninth. Shortstop. 224-0. And then we're going to bring in the pitcher. Get my pitching status out here for the 8th inning. Lavelle did not do a good job. Calling for Lavelle again. We'll just keep rolling until we get and that's why I hate doing this. I'm going to have to go in and clear somebody to pitch, even though they pitched too many innings already. This bullpen's getting ripped apart right now. They used 3 pitchers pretty hard last game. They used Griffin for 1.2 innings, Holland for 2 innings, Minton for 2. I'll go ahead and clear Griffin up. Yeah, he did 2.2 innings. We'll try to use him. I put a lot of work into this stuff. So they normally work pretty good, and it kind of keeps me in line on using pitchers and stuff. There we go. Tom Griffin now will come in, and he will bat Griffin will bat. Let's get him in there first. We'll do all that later. The master out. Griffin. Get Lavelle out. Griffin. Control C. Griffin will come in and bat for Ivy. Pitcher 4-0. I hope he doesn't get ineffective. Warm up. Oh, look at that. Ineffective wild again. And there we go. That's going to hurt. Okay, now we're going to do the new pitcher here, and then we're going to have to set defense. So we're going to bring in double switch. Shortstop was LeMaster. At ninth. And then Griffin batting 6th. Double check that. 6th. And then we're going to set the defense. And we're going to put Evans at first base. And we're going to put Patino at third base. Patini at third base. And we're going to check our box scores just to make sure everything's the way I want it. Third base, first base, shortstop, third base, pinch hit, shortstop. Looks good. And that'll bring up Oberkfell. Nobody on base against Griffin. Probable out, 82 or 62 will be a fly ball to left field. Probably will be out with the 11. And is out F7. Bob Force. I roll again. I do the rules say once he passes he doesn't have to roll, but my home brew rule is that once a pitcher's reached his exhaustion rate, you got to at least roll every inning to make sure that he's still capable of staying in there. Otherwise, I don't like using the charge back here. I just like to keep rolling that. I do use the charge to make sure they don't pitch too many innings regardless, but Force, the way he's pitching, and go the whole game. But I do roll for tired every inning instead of four minus number of runs allowed. He allowed 1 run. That's 3 plus his stamina. So he could pitch 10 innings the way he is, but I'm not going to do that. So we'll check his. Again, we're looking for 7, and he's got that, so he can stay in the game. and so we will let him bat again. Why not? He's had a good day anyway, but that one's within his K rate, so he's going to strike out this time. And that'll bring up Bobby Bonds. Even ineffective, Griffin's pretty damn good. He had a 212 against average, so the ineffective doesn't hurt him too much. Wild one hasn't come into play yet, nor will it, and 39 will be a out for 4-3. Nothing to check there. And that brings us to the top of the ninth. And Forrest is going for the complete game here. And he's going to face Strain. Potentially face Strain, Patini, and LeMaster. They're all righties. Strain has a single and 2 outs. He's batting .222 on the season. And I will consider a pinch hit. And we're going to see what we got here. There's Little John, but I already used him. Max Venable. Let's pinch hit Max Venable. See if we can get a little something going this inning. And let's go in here. Get Max Venable out. And put him over Strain. And roll. Not going to work. 89. And that'll be a line out to shortstop. Out L6. And brings up Patini, who's batting .093 on the season. Let's try pinch hitting for him also. Giants really need to pick up a win. Get Venable again. Whitfield. Let's get Whitfield. Pinch hit. Get the nothing to lose situation. Whitfield will come in and pinch hit for him. Whitfield bats left also. Pretty good batter. Give him a little better chance. Tini's batting horribly. And he goes down also. That'll be a ground ball to the first baseman. There's no lob to the pitcher. Wasn't far enough away from first base. That will show up if you roll a higher enough for low enough number. And it brings up Johnny LeMaster. And he's batting .193 on the season. And we will just go ahead and let this one run out. 25. Ground ball to third base, out 5-3, and thus ends game. And we press N. Nepper takes the loss. No, not Nepper. Lavelle takes the loss. Force takes the win in the complete game. Check the reports. Check the box score. Make sure it's what I want. Yep. And then we hit EX to export the teams. I run all this to my OneDrive, so everything's saved. I can play it on both computers. And with that, we're going to close and save that. Yes. Close this. That's done. And the Cardinals win a score 5-1. And I want to thank you again for joining me. And happy rolling.